have Donald Jr., who went from saying, I never met with anybody from Russia, I never met with anybody that had anything to do with Russia. Now he's saying he met with someone to get Oppo research on Hillary Clinton, who was connected to the Kremlin. These questions
the word opposition
matter.
research.
These questions matter.
Hey,
he
Chris,
says
do you think,
that she had information
Chris,
about the DNC
funding
Hillary Clinton. These are Don Jr.'s words, not mine. It's not about CNN. It's about what's said and what matters.
It's about all of the above. So let's break it down bit by bit. Don Jr. has very explicitly stated he didn't even know the name of the person with whom he was meeting. He agreed to the meeting based on a contact from the Miss Universe pageant. They get into the meeting, and it quickly turns into a pretext for Russian adoption, according to his statements, that the comments this woman were making about any type of information on Hillary Clinton were vague, they were meaningless. Others exited the meeting very quickly. The meeting itself was very brief. There was no information given. There was no action taken. There was no follow-up. And let me just respectfully say, as well as I can, I don't think anybody had to look very far to find damaging information on Hillary Clinton or negative information.
He still decided to take a meeting with somebody.
No, it's not beside the point. She provided it in the live loop
with him. So it wasn't just, you know, let's have lunch. He brought two very important people with him. It's a credibility issue as to whether or not he knew who he was meeting with. I don't know what should be more troubling to you, that he would take a meeting not knowing who it was, but it was important enough to bring Jared or Manafort, or that Donald Jr. would knowingly meet with someone with Kremlin connections on the basis of getting Oppo research about Hillary Clinton. There are huge legal and ethical implications to that decision, as you know.
You keep saying, no, I'm not going to agree with you on that. First of all, you keep on saying opposition research the way you guys constantly vomit words like collusion and Russian interference and affecting the election, all of which you have no evidence. We cannot convert wishful thinking into hard evidence. If
Don Jr. said that she had information about the DNC and Russians and funding Hillary. What do you call it?
Chris, you were just, okay, listen, you were just able to speak 2 minutes uninterrupted, and I frankly think it was more punditry than reporting. So I would like to respond now.
Please,
my friend. First of all, if you and I were in court right now, your side would not even survive a motion to dismiss, a motion for summary judgment, because you got nothing. Okay, on this one, Don Jr. has very clearly said he was told that there would be some kind of information helpful to the campaign. It quickly became very apparent there was not. Let me say something about who goes into these meetings in the Trump campaign. We were a very small operation. I was not involved in June, but I was involved in July, and I became the campaign manager in August. It's very typical to have principals in the meeting. We had a fraction of the staff and a fraction of the money that they had over there in Clinton Inc. in Brooklyn. So it's very typical that people like that would be. You're trying to have your viewers think, oh my God, because these three principals were in there, it was imbued with some type of seriousness that just simply is not true. This was standard operating procedure for the campaign. Let's focus on what did not happen in that meeting. No information provided that was meaningful, no action taken, nothing.
Let's focus on what did happen. The woman stated that she had information that individuals connected to Russia were funding the Democratic National Committee and supporting Ms. Clinton. That's from Donald Jr.'s statement. That's why he went to the meeting.
Right. And apparently she didn't.
That is a problem, though, taking that meeting, because it goes to one of the questions of this investigation, which is, was Russia trying to get to your campaign for purposes of affecting the election? And this is Don Jr.'s own statement about it, a statement which has changed now twice about what this meeting was. That doesn't raise legitimate concerns.
Chris, you keep on saying Russia. What did this woman say? Why was she there?
This is the word that Trump Jr. used, Russia.
Excuse me?
He used the word Russia. She had information that individuals connected to Russia were funding the Democratic National Committee and supporting Mrs. Clinton. These are his words.
And then he went on to say,
this is why he took the meeting.
And then he went on to say what? No, you got to give the whole statement to be fair to him and to be fair to your viewers. Let's stop chopping it up.
He then says,
to go viral
put the
with
statement
nonsense.
up. Put the statement up. You're the one who's parsing, not me. Put the statement up.
Let's do it.
Put it up. Put it up. Our faces are nice.
Listening.
Put the statement up. After pleasantries were exchanged, the woman stated that she had information that individuals connected to Russia, his word, were funding the Democratic National Committee and supporting Ms. Clinton. Her statements were vague, ambiguous, and made no sense. No details or supporting information was provided
There you go.
or even offered. It quickly became clear she had no meaningful information. 2 points. One, even if you accept everything he says is true, and there's a credibility issue because he's changed his story twice. I'm sure you do.
Not.
He's changed his story twice. You talked about being in a court of law. Not good when you change your story. There are actual big exceptions to the law for credibility when you change your story like this. Second of all, even if it is all true, whether or not it was good information, Kellyanne, doesn't mean that it was a smart move to take a meeting with a Russian-connected person who is going to give you negative information about your opponent. That could create huge legal issues. You know that.
I admire your moxie sitting there with the CNN Chiron right near you talking about credibility issues.
Listen, I could not be more proud to have that CNN Chiron next to me. I could not be more proud to have it.
I could not be more proud here representing the White House on CNN.
And I'm glad you are. I want you here because of that.
Now,
it's not supposed to be an argument. I'm saying this question started with, why did the president change his position about working with Russia? You spun it over to this. That was my original question.
Wait,
I never got an answer to it.
The president? What do you mean the president changed his story? The president had nothing to do with this meeting.
No, I understand that. I'm saying I asked you originally.
You wanted to produce something because you're invested in months now as a network in something that simply doesn't exist.
No, that's an assumption by you,
and
it's an unfair premise.
No, Chris, that's not true. Here's the unfair premise. That we are talking about this again, yet again, that you talk about Russia more than you talk about America, that the big bombshell of the day is Jim Comey having classified information, conversations with the President of the United States in his memorandum.
How do you know that?
Oh, because he's got a credibility issue, because I read the article in The Hill.
You read the Hill article that has officials familiar with the documents. So unnamed sources are okay for you on Comey, but not okay for you anywhere else, huh?
I didn't say that.
You've said it many times, my friend. Unnamed sources is the new code word for you guys for fake news. But it's okay on Comey.